This mapping is designed to work with remix decks C and D and gives direct access to the sample cells, including triggering samples, muting, reverse playback, changing cell settings, loading cells, and capturing samples from other decks. The large encoder at the top of the unit is used to browse through the track collection or through playlists while holding Shift. Press the left navigation button to load a remix set into deck C, and the right button to load a remix set into deck D. Pushing down on the encoder toggles browser-only view. Holding down Shift gives access to the slot settings for punch mode, monitor, effects, and key for each deck. While holding Shift, you can also toggle Sync on, Effects 1 and Effects 2 on for each deck. Turning the top channel strip encoder scrolls through sample pages on each deck. Pushing on the encoder accesses reverse mode. While pressing the encoder, push the cells you want to reverse. Releasing the encoder first will keep the samples in reverse playback. The bottom channel strip encoder is used for looping. Turn the encoder to set the loop length and push down on it to start the loop. Pushing the encoder while holding Shift turns on FLUX mode. You can also capture samples from other decks or from the loop recorder using the middle channel strip encoders. In this example, we're capturing 2 loops from deck A. Turning the encoder sets the capture source, and pushing the encoder while selecting a cell will capture the sample. By default, the up faders act as standard pitch faders with the pitch bend buttons right above the fader. The top channel strip encoder can also be used to change the pitch fader range while holding Shift. The 2 potentiometers control Traktor's high and low pass filters. By default, the pads are used to mute and unmute sample slots. The top navigation button changes the control modes of the pads. Pressing it once accesses the cell's trigger type. In this mode, pressing a pad for any slot will change the trigger type of the currently playing or selected cell. If the pad is lit, the trigger type is set to latch and the sample will continue playing after the cell is released. If the pad is not lit, the type is set to gate and the sample will stop once the cell is released. Pressing the top nav button once more accesses the cell's play modes, and the top 3 nav buttons will turn on. Pressing a pad for any slot will change the play mode of the currently playing or selected cell. While in play mode, you can use the right nav button to delete cells, and the left nav button to load samples from the browser into cells to create your own remix sets. Pressing the bottom navigation button changes the channel strips to mixer mode, enabling control over Traktor's main mixer functions like volume, CROSSFADER assign, kills and EQs, and Q monitor. While Q monitor is on, the filter knobs will control the Q mix and the Q level. You still have access to the filters by holding down Shift.